By the end of this video, you're going to have 5 ways to stop procrastinating at work, be more productive, and just get stuff done. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe down below for free career advice. And make sure you stay until the end because I'm going to give you a very powerful psychological tool that will help you overcome your anxiety and stop procrastinating. If you're trying to stop procrastinating and you came to YouTube for the answers, you've probably seen all of these different videos. So how is my video going to be any different? Well, none of these videos talk about how to stop procrastinating in an actual work environment. Like, not everyone can just turn off their internet and turn off their phone if they want to be more productive. Not everyone can just work from a different coffee shop or travel to a different location every single day just to enter the flow state faster. So I'm going to share my 5 tips to be way more productive at work. But the first thing you need to know is that you need to understand the context of your job and industry. Some of these tips that I'm going to share are going to work immediately right for you. And some of them you're going to need to modify and adjust based on your work environment. For example, if you're in a client or customer-facing role, you're going to need to account for the fact that your schedule is much more dynamic, and it may look something like this. On the other hand, if you're an entrepreneur or a software engineer or in a job where you only have occasional meetings during one part of the day and you have much more longer free periods where you can be productive, be creative, and get your work done, you're going to have to adjust for that as well. So tip number 1 is to have a clear and clean workspace. I find that a cluttered desk equals a cluttered mind. Also, by having a clean and clear workspace, desk, or office, there's going to be far less things that you can play with to get distracted and procrastinate. Try to only keep the essentials out in the open, like your computer, maybe a notepad, and your phone. Anything else that you know that you'll need for work but could also be distracting should be stored away in a drawer that is out of sight. This could be something like your earphones. The second tip is to go ahead and take a few minutes right now to study and analyze your weekly calendar. How often are you context switching due to sporadic and dynamic meetings? This can really impact your productivity and cause you to procrastinate. For example, if you only have 10 or 15 minutes between 2 separate meetings, you may tell yourself that 15 minutes isn't long enough to actually get anything done, so instead you'll just read this really unimportant email and just wait for the next meeting to start. Over the next few weeks, try to move your meetings around and batch them together so that you have longer periods of free time so you can actually get stuff done and be productive. This is also your opportunity to go ahead and opt out of some of those meetings that you really don't need to be there for. If anything, you can just ask someone for the meeting minutes and it'll be much more efficient to read those for 3 to 5 minutes rather than staying in a 30-minute meeting. Tip number 3 is to create deadlines for yourself. Have you ever been at work and then realized that you actually forgot to do something really important and you immediately drop everything and become like the most productive person ever? This level of productivity doesn't always need to be created by procrastinating and saving to do things until the very end. This is why college students famously pull all-nighters the day before an exam. And this is why you have serial procrastinators who purposely procrastinate and put things off until right before the deadline so they can feel much more productive. So let's use this to our advantage at work by creating incremental deadlines for ourselves to get things done and avoid procrastinating. For example, you can commit to your manager that by the next time you two meet, you're going to have finished this portion of the project because you want to get their feedback on it. Or maybe you tell one of your teammates that you're going to schedule a meeting a week from now so you can start planning phase 2 of your project, which would imply that for the next week, you need to finish phase 1. Tip number 4 is to start entering your flow state faster by completing really simple or easy tasks in the beginning. Or you can set very short periods of time for yourself where you can work with 100% productivity and no distractions. Personally, I like to start with a 5-minute timer where I'm super productive for those 5 minutes and then I can take a quick break. Then I'll work for 10 minutes, highly productive, and then take a break. and then I'll add 5 minutes at a time. And what you'll notice is you actually will start to work for more than 5 minutes at first, then more than 10 minutes at first, and then you won't even need to take a break every once in a while. Keep in mind, this tactic really only works if you have long breaks between meetings. This will not work if you have to constantly context switch and jump into different meetings. Now, the fifth and final tip is to give yourself rewards or incentives for completing tasks. This will help encourage you and motivate you to be a little uncomfortable, be a little bit stressed, but you know that when you get something done, you will have a reward that will make you feel good and release dopamine. Keep in mind, these rewards can be something really small, like having a piece of candy, or taking a 5-minute break to walk your dog or play with your kids. To thank you for watching this far into the video, I'm going to share a psychological trick to help you avoid procrastinating and be much more productive. And that is to physically write out a list of all of the tasks that you need to do in a certain day. You might be thinking that writing everything out that you have to do and seeing it in front of you on a piece of paper would actually stress you out more and make you procrastinate. But the opposite effect actually happens, because sometimes you can realize that you really don't have that much to do, or it's really not going to take you that long to finish everything. And the big psychological win here is that you get to physically cross things off or scribble them out on your piece of paper. This is much more rewarding and satisfying than simply deleting something on a Word document or putting a checkbox marks on your project plan. All right, I hope you found this video to be helpful and help you stop procrastinating at work. And please let us know in the comments, what other tips and tricks do you have to be more productive in a work environment? Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.